live on Tuesday. So today is Tuesday, right? Hey, this is Big Gene from Raw Deal, the last big night cooking conversation. I'm doing a story today about Summer Jam and Scott Storch. The Summer Jam story is going to be real quick because I'm actually holding on for my bank. So I said, let me go and kill two birds, one stone. So if you hear this music right here and I click off real quick, I'm going to see what the bank is talking about. Amon Richardson, yo, what up? Jimmy Parsons, Stashima Smith, Wakonet. Yo, I can't get rid of her right there, man. Oh, Jinx. Look at her. She on my back. Crazy. She's needy. What up, Q? Q, you see this, man? I can't get rid of the damn cat, dog. Rashonda Hayward, what up, mama? Oh my God, man. Can't get rid of her. She hear my voice. She coming. Wish I had a woman in my life like that. Ain't that right, Jinx? Watch this. Hey, Jinx. Hi, mama. What's good? She all up on the chair, man. Look at that. Whew. Now, if I don't pay her no attention, what she do? You know, I got a black cat. I went to my daughter. She wanted a therapy cat, but she left her, and she gonna say, the lady said, I said I like the black cat. She said, yeah, they never really make it. I said, what you mean they don't make it? She said, they the one they killed first in here. I said, kill what? Y'all hanging the cats too? She was like, yeah, people, because of the black cat thing, they euthanized the cats, the black cats. They the ones who usually go first. So I said, give me her. She ain't gonna get euthanized. Ain't that right, Jinx? Ain't that right, mama? And I had lost my dog. I had a beautiful pit, red nose, Nikki. I mean, that was Natchez. Nikki was my Japanese Akita. But anyway, let's get on with this thing. I went to Summer Jam. I had this special edition of Summer Jam. Goddess Queens, G Walls. I had the special edition of Summer Jam because I went to the Guts and Butts version. Oh my God. So Jesse trying to steal Jinx. She talking about, hey, Jinx. You know, I went to the Butts and Gut version. Yo, we have to do something, y'all. We really have to do something because our kids is lost. Who guts and butts? Them young girls out there. Goddess queens. I'm telling you. Everything hanging, showing everything, looking stank. I was like, and loud, wild, rambunctious, looking like they was looking. These kids is lost. You right. Who said that? James McCrae? Yo, no, he didn't say that. That's G Wall. G. Yo, they lost, man. I couldn't believe it, man. I could not believe it myself, man. I don't know about boot camp. I believe in abortions until you get to 17. Motherfuckers ain't doing right, ain't doing what they supposed to do. Abort them at 17. I know I'm going to catch flack for that one. But it is what it is. and everybody tough guys. Everybody is tough. Yo, after they did the K Slate tribute, I got up out of there, man. I want to thank Hot 97 for what they did. If they'd had my opinion, I'd have had some of the artists like 3 6 Mafia, Bum B, some of the artists that Yo Gotti that respected, the art, the craft, the hustle, the street hustle. Um, I would have had them on stage in honor of K, because K had a good following. You understand? I didn't see none of his West Coast people at Summer Jam that he had love for and they had love for him. I didn't see none of his West Coast people. Uh, Fu Manchu, you back down four so-called young guys, tough guys left. I'm not backing them down. Nah, I don't have time for that. I'm gonna lay them down. I'm not playing them games at all. Playtime is over. Yeah, All Star compilation. I know that. Me and K talked about that when he gave Pop Smoke that advice, and then 2 weeks later, Pop Smoke get killed. But anyway, Summer Jam tribute was great. I like Fat Joe coming out there doing what he did. Fat Joe was at the funeral. Busta Rhymes doing what he did. Busta Rhymes was at the funeral. Both of them spoke eloquently about K. Joe didn't speak at the funeral, but Joe showed his love on the stage right then. He was one of the first people at the memorial service for K. Respect that. I got mad love for Papoose, and his artistry and him taking over where K left off, as far as at the Hot 97 and what they had planned on doing. You know what I mean? That was a good thing. Um, yeah, Jinx be watching. Ain't that right, Mama? Yeah. So she be watching. Yep. Oh, I'm gonna cook this week. I got some because I want to make me some stuff for Father's Day. So I'm gonna probably cook my sides on Thursday. You know, I'll probably make some crab macaroni and cheese. But I can't eat crab, so I have to use imitation crab. It still tastes good, so I might do some of that. Real simple. No, yo, sorry about that, Aaron Reed. We don't do shout outs, brother. Aaron talking about shout me out. Shout me out. No, we don't do shout out, Aaron. What I look like shouting your name out? Aaron Reed. Oh, okay, LaShawn. What up with you? Grunt Buddy. Yeah, I'm gonna make me some crab macaroni and cheese for Father's Day and some cornbread. That's gonna be my go-to. I don't know what kind of meat I'm gonna make it right yet. What's all these dudes? What's up with dudes, man? Dude, Jimmy Parsons, shout me out, bro. Big Gene, shout me out. Yo, give me $100. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Jimmy, go ahead, man. Keep your cash out. No, no, Jimmy, don't send it. Jimmy, you don't have to send it to Big Gene 52. You ain't got to do that, bro. Keep your $100. All right. He a copycat. Yo, Jinx, they got copycats on this motherfucker, right? That's what Aaron said. Yo, White Mike, listen here, bro. I called your number. You understand? And you didn't pick up. I'm not begging nobody for because only one who called was Majestic. I think that's his name. And he was down on and around Houston Street, or he was in Lower Brooklyn, something like that. And I told him I was on 108 between First and Second Avenue that night. And Blissful Bling, Deja from Blissful Bling, you look her up, she came and got 4 tickets from me. I'm not I'm not coming if I'm calling you and I called the number that was on my thing. But I'm not gonna brain wrestle with you, White Mike. I got 4 shirts for you. You tell me the size, you and Fu Manchu, and then I'm gonna keep them in my car and I'm gonna tell you to come get them. I'm not delivering them to you. I'm not mailing them to you. I'll be in Harlem. You understand? And you tell me the size, and I what you call you, and I have them for you. They dad a dad shirt that told to me to be have is one of K Slay with the graffiti cans on there, and it says Dez. I'm gonna give you Protect Our King shirts, maybe a sweatshirt and something else. And those are the people who's supposed to get the ticket. I don't think it's for you, Fu Manchu. I think it's this other dude. What's his name? Majestic or something like that. But I got the shirts for you. Tell me the sizes, and I have them right in the car. So when I'm in Harlem, just holler at me. I'll let you know. I'll call you back. You got the number 201. Leave everything in there. Text me and stuff like that. Not I'm gonna have Jinx come get your ass. Yo, Jinx, get at him. Anyway, let me get to this, man, because I know y'all wanna. The World Summer Jam thing, like Jada showed mad love. Uh, um, Mano was a little standoffish, tough guy, little standoffish. Yo, what up, Mano? You know what I'm saying? But that's how niggas get this around industry niggas and they act funny. Then you get them in certain situations and they all like, yo, what up? But Buster always the same energy. Beautiful guy, person. Him and K had mad love for each other, man. It was crazy. Um, Jada always real. Jada Kiss is always the same nigga. Every time I see him, no matter where I see him, when I see him, whether it's at Sue's Rendezvous, whether it's on the streets, whether wherever I'm seeing that on a industry video shoot or anywhere I see him, and always the same. You know what I mean? Bronx Eric. Bronx Eric said he was with Scott Storch. No, nothing happened to Scott Storch that I know of. I used to bodyguard Scott Storch. I just wanted to. I told you this is the new chapter. So everything after Big's death that I did, I'm gonna let y'all know. So I wanted to talk about Scott because Scott was playing an intricate part in uh, hip hop at one time, and I want to tell you where it went down to me that I felt. So y'all let me tell that story. I can tell that story. Oh, but let me finish up with the Summer Jam thing. Um, I don't know if it was any incidents or anything out there. I think it was probably one of the safest thing. I didn't hear of anything that happened to him. Yo, I'm waiting on the book. What's up with the book? Yo, Aaron, I'm waiting on it to get it back so I could do my last reread. You know, I wrote the whole shit myself, but I had to send it out to get it edited and everything to make sure that everything was straight. Eric Lewis, yeah, Mano, yeah, I know. It's all right. We seen how he fight, right? Yeah. Yeah, Monique, Jinx be chilling, man. Get on my damn nerves. It's like a a woman that don't always over you, always what you call. Let me get on to this. Leave me alone with this thing. All right. So now, um, the summer jam thing was it was it was it was beautiful because I don't think it was no incidents. It was no problems. I didn't hear of any incidents and any problems. But they got to get better acts, and they got to do better by people paying all that money for the acts, and the acts don't show up, and everybody, boy, want to be on stage and shit. People come to see a show. Um, Hands down, uh, to me, and I know I'm gonna catch a lot of flack about this. I think Remy Ma is the greatest all-time female rapper that's been in the business and that's in the business. I don't think bar for bar can't nobody fuck with Remy Ma. Her stage presence, the way she delivers, and if the industry and the promoter, no, uh, the producers will get back, uh, get her some good music out, Remy will probably give you the fireest album or the fire CD or the firest uh, whatever you want to call it now than anybody. Remy Ma is, like I said, hands down, probably the greatest female that ever did it, and she don't get the props. You understand? She don't get the props that she should get. Nah, Pap don't write. Nah, you wrong about that. Your girl, your unique. Nah, your girl unique. Nah, Pap don't write Remy shit. Hell no. Mm-mm. Remy was fire like that with pun. So, oh, before I get to the Scott Storch story, and I'm gonna get to this right now, I want to get a shout out. This is a personal shout out to my goddaughter. You understand? She just graduated from the HBC school, Hampton University. Her mother sent her through school with no financial aid. You hear me? Not a dime from financial aid. She had one job. You understand? And didn't get a lick of child support. Still fighting for that shit, I heard. What's wrong with niggas? But a shout out to Jada Sky Lawson for graduating from Hampton University. And I ain't got your gift yet, but I got you something coming. Yo, shout out to the HBCU schools out there, the historical black colleges. Y'all keep up the great work. And if Jada Sky, salute mom, two thumbs up. Proud of you. Yeah. And she did some. She did it in a medical. She did it in a. I'm just gonna say she graduated with a medical degree that she can go into medicine and stuff like that, or she can go into health services and shit. And that's pretty hard. Anyway, let's get to this Scott Storch story. And the reason I'm going to Scott Storch story, and because I talked to a lot of people when I was around a lot of people when I was with Scott also, from Dre, Kanye West, um, what's that dude? Mario. I met a lot of people in Miami. A lot of people, 50 used to come through the studios and shit like that and get songs from Scott. Uh, Scott didn't do anything. Scott was a victim, actually. You know, uh, but like a lot of young rappers, a lot of young musicians, and people who's in the business, they don't want to listen. Scott said he smashed Kim Kardashian. I don't know. He could have. Scott was putting it in. Scott was smashing a lot of chicks. A lot of chicks. Me and Scott fell out because of Gloria Velez. Yeah, Gloria Velez. In the Big Pimpin' video, me and Scott fell out because of her. See, Fat Joe made the introduction. Scott needed a bodyguard. He was dealing with some guy named Purple out there in Miami or whatever like that. And whatever the situation was, uh, hold on. Hey, Anne Marie, how you doing? Uh, hold on, y'all. I gotta step away. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yo, I gotta step away. I'll be right back. Y'all can go if y'all want to. Anne Marie, this is Gene Deal, and I lost my debit card. All that was for nothing. Lauren Hill is great in what she do. I just read that, and I'm sorry about that, man, because I lost my bank card, and I'm just trying. I was just trying to get it, and that was they told me now I got to come into the bank and shit. Sorry about that, man. For the people who stayed on, I appreciate that. But let me get to this. And I think see, I was the chat was moving on without me. They was talking about the Remy Ma shit, so that's a good thing. And Lauren Hill is great singing, and but rapping is a whole different thing. I'm talking about as a rap artist, it's not a female let alive or dead could deal with Remy Ma. If you give Remy Ma the producers and the music some of these joints got right now, and shout out to Cardi B. I like Cardi B. Uh, Meg the the filly because the stallion is a man horse. Why they call her Meg the Stallion? Okay, is he built like her? Anyway, y'all, it just fucks me up. Meg the Stallion. The stallion is a male. Sinatra. Somebody compared the two. I don't know why they compared Remy Ma to Roxanne Shante was good too. She's great. She's probably after Remy, but you know the bars and how she put it. Mm-mm. Nah, nobody. No. Rod Digger good. They don't have the bars, man. They don't have and the delivery and how. Yo, Lil Kim was at that peak with Big's help, but nah. Pound for pound, bar for bar, Remy Ma. Anyway, so the connection for me and Scott came from Fat Joe. You understand? They was down there running with God bless the Dale Joe Bentley. Joe Bentley was one of the top gangsters that was in there in Jersey. Then he moved to like gangsters do. They moved to Miami, and he started business out there. Somebody said Meg Thee Stallion was a fine ass man then. No, I wasn't saying that, y'all, but Anyway, Hakeem, what's up with you, bruh? So now Scott needed a bodyguard. You know what I'm saying? I told Scott, yo, listen to me, man. You know the situation with me and Diddy and the whole nine, y'all. If you fucking with him, you fuck with him. You don't need me. You can find a bodyguard in any kind of way, anywhere. You understand like that. But Joe let him know that I was going to protect him, and he was going to be all right. He'd be able to go anywhere around the country with me because I had a lot of connections and I had a lot of people, and he'd be good. You understand? So I started working for Scott, and Scott just told me that he was just going to be in the studio and doing meetings, and he wasn't going to be out in the club. That's the bullshit that they get you until they find out who you really are and how you move. And when Scott found out that I could move anywhere and I could be anywhere and everybody knew me like that, he wanted to be out every other night. He wanted to be out every other night. And I'd be like, yo, shit is crazy. And like I said, he was knocking everything down. That's what got him in trouble, Josh. You understand? But he wasn't like that at first. That was a little bit after me, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. And you're gonna say, wow. Yeah, Big was funny in person, as he be on records. You know, that trans that went over to his records went over to his personal life. So now Scott, like, he was knocking down everything, smoking hell of a weed. That nigga used to put some people on private jets to go get his weed, his kush. He used to smoke this white these buds, and it had like white stuff in there. He called it kush or whatever like that. And I mean, like, I would see this motherfucker roll up about, or he had some, and he would smoke all day. Once he started, that nigga didn't stop in the studio. And I swear that nigga, if he do one section, he probably went through like 30, 40 joints. And they be like big shit, like, I'm like, damn, this nigga, he kept the room smoky. It was crazy. So now, Scott had a problem with what pimping really was. Because he felt like if he bought a chick a Bentley, he was pimping. He bought Lil' Kim a Bentley, or leased it, or whatever he did for her. He used to spend about 75 to $125,000 in jewelry a week. Well, this guy used to come to the house, and then he'd be like, I can take that, and I take that. And picking it out for girls, regular random chicks that he was jaying, that he was calling from backstage. But he was calling them my girl. And I was like, yo, and then they will get mad. And this is how sometimes, and I learned, as long as you getting your money, mind your business. As long as my checks is getting paid, mind your business. Cause sometimes he wasn't paying it, but then he'll straighten it out. But it was a time problem. Because Scott, he believed that giving these girls Cartier watches, diamonds, and jewelry, that he was pimping. And I had to check him. I had to check him on 2 occasions. And after that, I said, I'm going to end up slapping the shit out this little white boy. So it's about time for us to end our reign. But before we get to that point, I'm going to tell you. We were in Hollywood at Kanye West's birthday party in North Hollywood. And Scott was with Gloria Velez. He's with Gloria Velez. So my man, who was bodyguard, he was managing MC Light. And I think he probably deal with a lot of C's. You know, out there's a lot of B's and C's. So he deal with a lot of C's. So he came up to me, yeah, Momo L, yeah, the video girl. He comes over to me, yo, Big Gene, what's up with dude over there, Scott Storch? You got him? I said, yeah, I got him. He with me. He said, yo, Gene, I got 300 some people in there. That's pretty good, I guess. But I only got 126 likes, so I guess people don't really like what I'm talking about. Yeah, cool. So, did they go up? Oh, they went up about 30. Hi, Sandra. Sandra Corley. Hi. So now we up in Kanye West's birthday party in North Hollywood. He got Glory Velez over there. He had just gave her a Cartier watch, the real joint, telling me he pimping. I was like, yo, bro, that ain't pimping. So my man comes over to me, and Scott got what appears to be probably like 300 to a half a $1,000,000 in jewelry on, with only little old me with him. So now I says to Scott, after my man get through talking to me, because he said, yo, Gene, if you got him, I'm going to give you 10 minutes to get him out of here. Because these wolves is about ready to come over here to get him. It's going to be a brawl, and they going to snatch that shit from him. But I told them that you was my man, and y'all going to have to kill him, and that's my man. So I wasn't taking a chance. I know all that 300 and that 500,000, some of it was fugazi. I know most of it was real, but it was a piece around his neck that was really fugazi, and it wasn't worth it. So I says to Scott, yo, my man, my dude is giving me 10 minutes to get out of here. We only need 5. Scarice Gigs, I think that's what it is. Thank you, appreciate that. I said, we only need 5. Glory for life. How you gonna let your bodyguard tell you when to leave and everything like that? I said, yo, Scott, let me just tell you something, brother. And she started going on, yo, Gene. I said, man, listen here, man. They giving us 10. We only need 5. We got to leave, brother. We in North Hollywood, in some old club, no security, and these niggas giving me 10 minutes to get you out of here? I say, yo, bro, check this out. I need to move you right now. That's my job, to keep you out of harm's way. If you want to stay here, talk to you later. I'm headed to the door. Scott got up and walked out the door. Whit was walking with me. She was mad as F. Yeah, I met Big Pun several times. I got stories on Pun with Pun. Yeah. She was mad as hell. All through the car ride. Because now we going to dinner in Malibu. She talking that bodyguard shit and everything. I'm quiet as a church mouse. I ain't saying nothing. But had he stayed there, his ass would have been grasped. So now, we in Malibu, and this oceanside, it's called the Charter House in Malibu. Check the record. It's the Charter House. And she started talking about Aaron Hall. Now, Aaron Hall and Kay Slade was like this. They was mad close. Kay had a lot of love for Aaron Hall. I don't know how their relationship came about, since Aaron Hall was, you know, R&B or whatever. But Kay used to be, yo, that's my man. Me and Aaron is mad cool, right? Twindlers 919, thank you. So now, she talking about how he was a child molester. How she was only 16 years old when he took her to Jamaica. So I'm like, I'm just listening to this whole shit. And she going in on bruh. But she didn't know that I knew her. And I had a videotape that I still have today of her putting a champagne bottle at the Y. In Cancun, Mexico. But all this shit is building up on me because she going in and then she want to jump back on. We should still been at the party, but you let your bodyguard and going in on Scott Storch. Pimping Scott Storch. And I have much love for the young kid. You understand what I'm saying? But ladies, no disrespect. And I want to apologize for my candidness. You got to check them hoes sometimes. You got to check them hoes sometimes. And I'm going to show you what real pimping is because I'm going to checkmate this one. She said one more thing about the bodyguard shit. And I said, yo, listen here, let me just tell you something. I don't have to be here. And I'm good with being here, and I'm good not being here. But everybody is wrong but you. Let me just give you this right here. You 16 years old. If Aaron met you in a club in New York City, how you get in there? Because they ID the shit out you. And if you get in there, somebody has some kind of authority to get you in there. I worked the club scene in New York. Heavy. If you go into Jamaica, you have to have identification. Who's putting you on a plane at 16 years old with a man and signing to you to go with somebody? And matter of fact, if Aaron's all that, why I got a picture of your pussy with Aaron right across it in Cancun? Scott was looking at me. He seen that my whole demeanor had changed. He seen that whole demeanor had changed. Come on, boo. Let's get real. I don't know what I would have done. I know I wouldn't have messed with you at 16. But if I'm going to Jamaica and I done pay for all this shit and your mama done signed the paperwork for you to be on the plane with me and go, anything is possible. I was just telling her that. But I wouldn't have done that. Table got quiet. I'll drink to that. Now, she ain't say nothing else for the rest of the night. She ain't say nothing for the rest of the night. I'm in the car with Scott Storch the next day. I guess she mad at him. She on the phone. She on the phone. Scott is having a bad day. Because we had just came from Jimmy Iovine's office. Now, Jimmy Iovine, y'all just don't know. Allegedly, he gets Scott. He gets Scott in a meeting. Scott want a deal for Tough Jew Production. That was his company name, Tough Jew Production. He tells Scott Storch, I'll give you this deal, but you can't do music for rappers no more. I don't want you doing no music for rappers no more. I don't want you. I'm gonna finish this, man, but I want the likes to come up a little bit more, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't asking for the cash app because somebody who that gave me that $5. Who that? I didn't even give them their respect. Let me see. Can I give them their respect? Can I push on this and see who gave me that? How would I know if somebody who's the person? Yeah, man, Pap is like my little brother now. You know, that he was one of the close. K love the shit out of him. I go to war for Pap now. You understand? Pap ain't gotta ask me twice. Yo, Pap, they love because he loved K. Yo, I gotta love him just as much. And me and Pap is close, and me and Pap is cool. But after K's death, and just I don't know, you threw me off with that one, brother. When you said you see me and Pap um, hollering at each other, embracing. Anyway, Scott was on some shit because he had just came from Jimmy Iovine's office. So he's up there all day. Scott was, I think he was probably really hurt. Jimmy Iovine said he wanted him to do music with, uh, uh, like Gwen Stefani or what's the girl name? Christine Aguilera. He wanted her to do rock. He didn't want Scott to do any more music for any black rap artist. Justin Timberlake, pop shit. Well, okay, pop, whatever. Thanks, Siobhan TV. Hi, Miss Matthews. Monique, I'm telling you, Scott was almost in tears in the car. Right? And when Scott said that shit, he didn't want me to do no more music. He don't want. I said, "What happened, Scott? Why you look like that?" Yo, the nigga Jimmy don't want me to do more. You know, he won't cut the deal unless, I said I wasn't gonna do no more rap with no more rap music. I was like, oh shit, right? Then Gloria Velez calls him on the phone, and then he turns around and he said to me, "And yo, next time you talking to my girls like that, when we had dinner and stuff like that, yo, you fired." And all the tough Jew came out of him. He was really tough Jew production. WMD Media, Will Blocks. You say check my IG box? All right. But I'm doing a show right now. Man, I gotta go move this last shit at K House. I'm gonna do a show over there if the internet comes up. But anyway, check this out. I said, motherfucker, if you breathe hard, I'ma beat the shit out your little ass. You better not say another motherfucking word right now. Cause I don't know who you playing with or who you think you playing with. You let them bitches play you like that, nigga, I'm not the one to play with. I dare you. You better not even fucking breathe hard right now. Told the driver, fuck where you taking him. Take me back to the fucking home. He had a mansion. Uh, and we were in, he was in, what you call that? Begins with a C in Florida. before he moved in. Before he moved to the second house, he was living in a mansion in Coral Gates, or something like that. I said, you better not even fucking breathe hard. You going off on me on this raggedy joint? I got the video. I know what she did to the kids in the Bronx. Get out of here. Coral Springs. Goddess Queens, you down there in Coral Springs? Coral Springs, something like that. Coral Gables, something like that. Yo, he's down there. Nice house. Had my own nice room. All that. Because I was living with him. I was living with him. Man, listen to me. I didn't sleep much at night. Ain't nobody walking. The way he had chicks running in and out of there, I was up there with the gun in my hand like this. That's why I love when he went to the studios and shit like that. And then that was my time down. We was in those closed studios or whatever like that, Dre studio. Then that's when I got my rest. Yeah, B man, where you been? So now I'm back packing my shit at the crib. I said, yo, man, I'm not gonna do this because you don't want to listen to me. And then first of all, you told me that you wasn't gonna be doing this, and it's totally opposite. He said, yo, Gene, we good. You can't leave me like that. You can't leave me. Yo, he apologized in the whole 9 yards. I knew the shit wasn't gonna last long because he couldn't afford me. He couldn't afford me. I needed my bills paid, and I was asking for short money. I was asking for short money. You know what I'm saying? Because I was suspended from my job on this Biggie shit or some other shit from Puff shit again. Now that ain't why Kim didn't leave Scott Storch high and dry. I'm gonna tell you how Scott got effed up. So now we goes back out to Dre's studio, and 50 Cent was out there. And I'll tell you that story later. I probably already told it. I didn't get too much in depth in it, but now I'll be able to get in depth in a lot of the stories. So Scott had his Phantom shipped out there. So he had to sell a Phantom. He was going to try to sell a Phantom. So he had the Phantom shipped out to California. So I guess the deal didn't go through, and he found the buyer in Miami. So he had to take the Phantom back out to Miami. And the buyer didn't care how many miles it had on it. You understand? So Scott couldn't find nobody to ship it back out there by that Thursday, and it was Sunday. The guy had to have a car on Thursday, right? And they said they couldn't. They looked all over the country and couldn't find nobody to ship that car by Thursday. I told Scott just like that, nigga, I'll get that motherfucker on Tuesday. Give me 8,000. He like, yo, G, you can get that by Tuesday? I drove from California to Miami. From California to Miami. Me and his driver. But his driver wasn't doing what I was doing. His driver drove the first 5 hours, told me he was tired. I drove the next 16 hours. His driver drove the next 6 hours. I drove the next 17 hours. We left Sunday. By Tuesday, I was in Tampa, Florida. I say, yo, Scott, can I stay in Tampa? And the driver gonna take it in? Why you want to stay in Tampa, Gene? I like volleyball. I like volleyball. So now, he said, cool. And then I had won my case so I could go back to work for the state. Got paid that 8 racks, and we parted our ways. He had me living up in the Lowe's Hotel. I stayed in the Lowe's Hotel for about 3 months because he didn't want me to live at the mansion. And he was paying that every day. $236 a day. I could eat what I want to eat, whatever. I didn't care. The driver will come pick me up and we'll go do what we got to do. Only time I checked out the hotel is when we was going to California, because we'd be in California for like 2 weeks to a month. Listen, like I said, it was a reason why he didn't want Scott Storch to do any more black artists, because all of them wasn't under Interscope, and people could do a Scott Storch, take a Scott Storch track and makes hundreds and thousands, probably millions of dollars on it, because he was just that hot. It's something that they wanted to control, and I just don't know what it was that Scott Storch had that they want to control him over. But Scott Storch refused to do that. Because even though he was tough Jew, he liked the black culture. So he refused to do that. So they take the demon child and they put them on him. Y'all gonna have to catch this one. I don't do that much traveling overseas. But I would have loved to go to Paris. I wouldn't have stayed at the Hilton though. They put the demon child on him. She probably grew up in Cocaine City. I would have loved to go to Paris. Darnelius. But I would have never stayed at the Hilton. Nah. Southeast Prince. Put him down. Gosha James. Put them up. Look at Tiffany. Tiffany like, why not the Hilton? Tiffany, get it. Tiffany like, oh, why not the Hilton? Yo, Reese, you caught it? Came on. I had to cuss that bitch out. Oh my God. Stink. excuse me, lady. Hater. Mm-hmm. More than a sinus infection. Anyway, made it seem like she wanted to do an album and the whole 9 yards. Put him down with old boy. Old boy goes and buy her a fucking a Rolls Royce or a Bentley for her to ride around in, and he gets snowed in. He gets snowed in. Oh shit! I did over an hour or so. Oh my God. Allegedly. Yo, I done did over an hour, so I could go on and on with this joint, man. So old boy gets snowed in. Old boy gets snowed in. And when old boy gets snowed in, what happens? Who gets what he wanted? Jimmy Iovine. Who gets what he wants? Laughter with Kathy. Thank you. She said she loved my podcast. This is a podcast? This is an old nigga just getting in front of the camera talking shit. The stories of his life. I was talking to my two of my sorors and I was telling some shit at the in the loft at Hot 97. They were like, damn, Gene. Big Miz, what up with you, boy? D in here? Hello, D in here? Diamond? Fight shot, Murray. Yeah, So who gets what they want? Jimmy Iovine. Sick them on that young boy. That boy was a genius. The music and shit that Scott used to do, be at the piano, then the machine, the piano. Yo, I think that I knew for a fact the way Scott had that good heart, I would have died for him. I'd have went to war for Scott. But I learned there's certain people you can't save. There's certain people that you can't save. Listen, y'all gave me 70 minutes of y'all time, man. I gotta go over and finish doing the shit for K Slay, putting this shit, load this shit up, this truck up, get all the shit out of his apartment. I want to thank y'all. Who's that? Godson. Let's do it. Let's try Thursday. I'll cook something Thursday. I'm gonna make my crab macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use imitation crab meat, bro, because I'm allergic to real crab meat. So imitation crab meat is nothing but soy, but shit still tastes good. All right. So y'all, listen to y'all. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all time and everything like that. And I'm gonna try to do it on StreamYard so I can see the the writing, whatever that is. Who's that? Lim, bruh, give us a shout out on my son Muhammad from Australia. Is it Lime or Lim? Liam. What up? Hey yo, listen. if anybody catching this out there, and they're gonna have Wellston Day is everybody who was alumni day at Trojan Park on August the 13th in St. Louis, Missouri, in Trojan Park by I think it's Skinker and it's at Elka Elms or some street like that. But I'm gonna get the full information. I'm gonna be there. August the 13th, my frat brother Carl Davis called and let me know. I'm gonna be there August the 13th. I'm gonna make my if God grant me to be here, I'm gonna be there. One love, Judith, Reese. One love to all y'all. I'm gonna come back on Thursday. I'm telling you, I'm gonna give y'all a show. Not a show. I'm gonna give y'all a story of some shit that I did or some shit that went on this way out. I'm waiting to get the book back, y'all, so we can put it on Kindle. So y'all could go get it. It's a lot of stories that y'all never heard of. It's a lot of shit that y'all didn't even know that I'm gonna tell y'all in that book. So y'all be able to go on Kindle, Amazon, and get it. All the people talking about, yo, I'm gonna get your book, I'm gonna get your book. Watch it only sell like 5. But I ain't pay nobody to write it. A&R report. Look out for you. All right. Love y'all. Y'all be good. This has been Big Gene from the Gene Deal Show. Cooking and conversation. Next time, let's cook and have some conversation. Y'all be good. Peace.